Howdy everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I put together this cute little cork reindeer ornament, and he even jingles. So let me show you what the supplies are going to be. Before I start creating my ornament, I want to show you the inspiration. I purchased this pre-made reindeer ornament at a store called At Home, and I paid $4 for it. Initially, I purchased this as a little gift for my grandson. I thought it would be a cute little ornament for him to have on the tree. But then I started looking at it and thinking, I think I can create this. So I went about collecting some supplies, some of which I already had and some which I had to order. So let's get to the supplies. All right, so the first item that I'm going to need is going to be 2 of these corks. And I found these from Amazon. You can see the design that it has on there. Now on Amazon, they do have other designs, but I chose this one because I get 100 pieces in this bag. And at the time that I purchased it, it was only about $14 for 100 pieces. And I figure if I was to choose like a Christmassy design, then I'd only be able to use them for Christmas. But with just a simple, generic, wine style design, I can use these for other crafts. Alright, so I really needed some little Santa hats, and I could have just made these myself, but I found these also on Amazon. And this was a package of 36. I think I paid $9.49 for this. So I thought this was a pretty good deal. Again, you could make these yourself with some felt and a little pom-pom. These are just slightly bigger than the ones that are on the pre-made ornament, but they're going to work. Okay, so the reindeer has wired legs and antlers, and I found this black wire. This is a 20 gauge black wire. I got this from Hobby Lobby and I paid $3.99. This is 6 yards of wire right here. And then I also found this gold one. This was also $3.99, and this has 75 feet in it. All right, so my little reindeer has little pom-pom noses, and I happen to already have these at home, so I didn't have to go purchasing them. He also has some little googly eyes. They are much smaller than the ones that I have here, but I figure these are pretty cool, and I've already compared them to the size of the cork, and they actually look even funnier being this big. These are about a 1/4 inch in diameter, and so are my little pom-poms. I didn't buy these, but normally you can get like maybe anywhere from 25 to maybe 50 in a package, anywhere from $1, maybe a couple of bucks. Sometimes I even find them for like 69 cents a package, but that all just depends. So the pre-made reindeer has some beads at the bottom of his legs. The beads are in place of his little hooves. I'm going to go ahead and use these little jingle bells, these little silver jingle bells. Of course, you can use some beads instead, and I'm going to use 4 per ornament. And I purchased these from the Dollar Tree. I get 50 count for just $1. From the Dollar Tree, I also found these tiny little Christmas trees. It's a package of 8. I paid $1 for them, but look at them. They're so cute. Now, the one on my little ornament, the pre-made ornament, they are slightly bigger than this, but I think these will work just fine. And the pre-made ornament also has some little lights on the little tree, and then it's got some little beads on the antlers. I decided that I'm not going to put anything on the little mini tree, but instead I'm just going to use these little string lights to cut them up and then just glue them a little bit closer to each other and tangle them on the antlers. And this little package was $1.99, and it's 3 feet of length, so it just depends on how many you're going to make. I figure about 1 foot of this is what I'm going to cut off, so I can get 3 ornaments out of one of these packages. From Hobby Lobby, I also purchased this little mini cones with berry picks. It has 12 pieces, and each piece has about 6 little pine cones in it. It was $3.99. I'm only going to use maybe just 1 pine cone and maybe a couple of the little red berries to somehow decorate my little ornament. Now, this is completely optional. It's up to you on how well or decorated you want your ornament to be. And my ornament also has a little bow. It is made out of just some string, but I decided to use these. I already had these in my craft box, so I've decided I'm going to use these. I think I'm only going to make about 6 ornaments, so I have plenty here. Now this box was originally from Hobby Lobby. It is a 48 piece and it was only $1.99. This is found where they have all their little mini, you know, little tree ornaments, little mini items. So you can find something like that, or just use some very thin ribbon and create your own bows. I'm also going to be using some hamstring or some jute, whatever you want to call it, just something thin that I can use as a loop so that I can hang my ornament. And by the way, I got this roll at Hobby Lobby for about $3. All right, now I'll be needing some tools, so I'll be using some hot glue to put together my ornament. I will also be needing some wire cutters, scissors, and then I've got these little pliers. I'm also going to be using this thin brush to coil the wire on. So if you have a thin stick that you can use, I wouldn't use a pencil. I think it's a little too wide, so look for something thinner. This will work just fine. All right, everyone, so those are all the supplies that I'm going to be using to try and recreate this little ornament. So I'm going to show it to you one more time. And now, let's get to crafting. I'm going to start off with my wire to create the forelegs and a neck piece. So I'm going to take 4 jingle bells first and take 1 per leg, and I'm going to slide it into the wire, about 1/2 inch of wire, and then I'm going to bend it. And I'm going to twist this wire around the other piece. So you want to get that on there first. All right, so now we're going to take our brush and I'm going to coil around wire, and I'm going to get it kind of tied up against itself. And I'm going to do about 1 inch. And there we go, about 1 inch. And again, I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch piece. So I'll go ahead and cut that off. And that is so I have enough to poke into my cork. All right, so I'm going to repeat this 4 times so that I can have 4 legs. All right, so I have completed the 4 legs, and then I've gone ahead and I've stretched out the little coils to be about the same length for all of them. And the 5th one, I've left it like that, nice and tight. I didn't pull that. So that is our little neck and our 4 little legs completed. And now we want to create an antler. So I'm going to use the gold wire, but you can continue on with the same black wire and use the same idea. This is an 18 gauge, so it's a little bit easier to bend around. So I don't need my pliers. I'm going to start off with about 1/2 inch of length and then just kind of bend it like that. Do a little bend there, and then we're going to go up about maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. Put it down here so you can see this little square is 1 inch here, and as you can see, it's about 1/2 to 3/4 right there. So then we want to loop back up again, a little curve like that, and this time we're going to make another curve just like it, but a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, which is about almost 1 inch there. So you can see that. And I want to make one more and just make it the same size as the first one that I started, or about the same size. It doesn't have to be exact. And just do those little curving. And then just bring in this length over to this length that you started off with and twist around. And now we can cut it right there. And here we have a little antler. Just shape it however you want. There we go. So we're going to make 2 of these for every ornament. Okay, so now we want to put together the body and head of our reindeer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the legs to what would be the body, and you could just choose, you know, what design or how you want it to face. I've already gone ahead and tested one of these, and I found out that I needed to trim the bit of wire that's going upward just a little bit. So instead of 1/2 inch, maybe just 1/4 inch is all we need. I'm going to use my hot glue gun to put this all together. So just a little bit of glue. And then just start inserting. That would be the belly side of your reindeer. Like so. As a matter of fact, maybe I can even shorten the legs a little bit. So there's one leg. And then I want the other one about right here. Again, I'm going to trim this. There we go. 2 legs. And I'll add the other 2 over here, and I'll be back with the next step. Okay, so here is something that I learned. I'm going to add the glue here. And remember, I was inserting it like that with my fingers. The best thing to do is just to go ahead and insert just a tiny bit into it, just so you can mark where you want it. And then actually use your pliers at that flat end to push it in, rather than trying to push in like that, because a lot of times what you're doing is you're just bending this wire. But you want to actually have it insert into the cork, and to get that maximum length in there is to use your little pliers. So there, that works. Look at that. And there's the little body put together. Alright, so now we want to add the neck, and that's going to be right up here. I'm going to do it the same way. A little bit of glue, push it into where I want it, and then use my pliers to push in that wire. There we go, and it goes in so nice and easy that way. The cork's a little thick, so that is why you want to use a plier. So we have this so far, and now we want to get our little head ready to also put onto this. Alright, so now let's do the little head with the Santa hat. I'm gonna go ahead and I initially thought I would trim the white trim on here, that I would cut it, make it shorter, because it seems like it's just a little too big on my head here. So that is all up to you, depending on what size little hat, or if you made them yourself. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it up a little bit like that, and that also shortens the hat a little bit so it doesn't seem so big. And now I can put some hot glue around the cork here and slide that in there. And if I don't want this flopping around, I'll just add a little bit of glue there. There we go. Easy peasy. And we've got our little hat on our reindeer's head. Now, I prefer to put the hat on before I actually put the head on the reindeer, because while I'm doing all this struggling, I'm not moving everything else around and then bending wires and, you know, getting them out of shape. So I do recommend that you put the little hat onto the cork before you get started. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put the neck part into our head part. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue there, and we're going to do the same thing just like we inserted it into the body. Grab it from that flat part and insert it back into here. Alright, we've got one of the antlers on there, you can see that. So now we want to do the other one on the other side. Okay, there's our second antler, just turning it in the direction that I want it, and there you go. There's his little body with the antlers. So now we want to decorate him. Alright, so now I'm going to decorate my little reindeer. So I want to put 2 googly eyes on him. And I want to put them right about here, one on each side. So we want to get some glue. There's his little eyeballs. That's why I thought this size is kind of big, but I thought he looked really cute and really funny, so I figured that will work. Now we're going to put his little nose on. So a little bit of glue for that. And right at the top edge, not in the middle, but at the top edge, because that would be where his little mouth is. So we want to make sure we leave space for that. You can draw one on if you want. I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it like that. Now at this point, our little ornament is fine just the way he is. You don't really have to add anything extra, and actually save yourself some money on some supplies. I also have to put a little string for him to hang on. So I'm just going to cut. This is about a 9-inch. I think about 9 or 10 inches of string that I cut. And I'm just going to take the ends and make a little knot. Now the other ornament has him attached to the side of his head on one side, and that's where he hangs from. So that's what I'm going to do. And as you make them, you can decide to put the string, you know, on the right side, or on some of them maybe on the left side. So when you hang them on the tree, they hang from, you know, different angles, even though they might twirl around. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, so I won't pull on it anymore. Now I'm going to put the little tree on him. Now the one on the ornament, the little tree does not have this little part on it. I really don't mind it being on there, because this tree is actually just a little bit smaller than the one on the other ornament. Now what I could do is, like, if I took it off, I maybe want to trim some of the little bristles here so it has more of a flatter surface, but I'm fine with it. Actually, this side is a little more kind of pushed in, so that's the side that I'm going to glue down. So I want it to face outward, you know, the tip of the tree. I want him to face outward on his back. So just put it right there like that. Okay, so our ornament didn't have a little tail. You could take some more of the same black wire and do like 1/2 inch of coiling and add a little tail. Reindeers usually have a small little tail. I'm actually going to put this little bow back here. Initially I thought I'd put it in the front here, but I kind of like it in the back to kind of, you know, that's his little tail. So we're just going to do that. If you don't have a little ribbon to make the little bow, like I said, do the coil, or you could actually take a short piece of your string, your rope. You could also use that as a little tail on the back of your little reindeer if you want. I like just a little bow, so I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so I've gone ahead and got one of these little clusters with the little mini pine cones and these little berries. I'm actually just going to take one of these little pine cones off of here. So I'm going to cut it off with my wire cutters because they're all kind of wired together. Get that off of there. Get the wire bit off of it. And I think I'm going to cut a couple of these little berries. You could use anything else to decorate it. You don't have to use this. And of course, like I said, you can use some beads to decorate it. I'm going to take a couple of those. I'm going to decorate right here where the tree is. So I'm going to put one little berry coming off the side here, like that. And I'm going to put one on the other side. And then I'm going to put the pine cone right in front there. Okay, so that's just what I did. You can do it however you like, but that is what I've decided to do. All right, so the last thing on him are the string of lights. So I have this string of lights here that I purchased. These are found in the where you have the miniature items for the little mini Christmas trees, and it comes like this. And I already estimated that about 1 foot of this, or at least I want 4 lights. So I'm going to cut off a piece here, right where that last light is. And I'm going to cut off that, and actually this one as well, right off at the little knot, so the little ornament comes off of the string there. So I've got those 2 little lights. Cut that off, and I'm going to trim this one a little bit shorter as well. So now I've only got these 2 lights on the string, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue these on there. You could take the time and unknot these. Let's try that. Let's do a little bit of unknotting here. Okay, so once you've undone the knot, then you can move the little light a little bit closer to the other one and then redo the knot. Or you just hot glue them on. You don't have to do that. You could just take some hot glue, put it on there, and then stick it on the string and just hot glue them on. But this is something else that you can do. Just go ahead and unknot one of them. You just want to tie them up a little bit closer. Okay, so there we go. Now I've got the 4 little lights a little bit closer, and now what we can do is we can just kind of hang them off the antlers, just kind of tangle them around, and this is where you want to hot glue so the little lights don't move around. See the little strings on there? And then you could just trim off these, or you could wrap them around a little bit more, make it look even more tangled. However you want to do this. Again, if you don't find these little lights, but you do find a little gold string, get the little gold string, wrap it around, and then just hot glue little different colored beads on there to kind of mimic the lights. So there we go. All right, everyone, I have completed my little cork reindeer ornament, as you can see here. And here is the original one that I purchased from the store, pre-made. He looks pretty good. He's actually pretty sturdy. Mine's a little bit more wobblier, but that's okay. I love it because the little bells will jingle on him. And this one cost me $4 already made, store-bought, which is pretty good. But this one cost me about $2 to make with the supplies, considering that I did buy some of them in bulk. So I think that's a pretty good deal if I want to make these for myself. And I think it would be a great project to also maybe do with the kids. Now, I will suggest that instead of using the hot glue gun, maybe you want to use an E6000, or if you even want to use a super glue, just use a better glue to keep these intact. And I think he looks super cute. I love the way his little head bobbles around. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to put this little string to hang them on the tree. You could just make simple ones like that just to have them stand on a table. They would look really cute in somebody's, work desk, maybe next to their computer. Take them over to someone that you really care about and, give them lots of cheer in their life. So there we go, everyone. All right, everyone. So this is my cork reindeer, and I think he came out really cute. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Please leave a nice comment down below and let me know what you think of this little craft. Is it something that you think you will do? If you've already done something similar, or you have another idea for these corks and you want to share that with everyone, you can go over to my Facebook page, Trisha's Creations. The link is in the description box below, and you can post a picture of your little craft. All right, I want to thank everyone who has been subscribing. If you haven't done so, please hit that red subscribe button and then hit the notification bell so that you get notified of when I put up videos. I try to put up 2 videos per week, and this month of November, it is all Christmas crafts. So there we go, everyone. Please share on your social medias. Be kind and respectful towards each other. Share the love. And as always, enjoy.